picked up the preseason right where they left off the 2015 regular campaign. They dominated the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Tonight, Jim Caldwell's team will host another AFC North foe, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Lions are looking for more positives and a boost from the Ford Field faithful. NFL football from Detroit is next. There is nothing like coming home. After a preseason win in Pittsburgh last week, the Lions are here in Detroit for their exhibition home opener against the Cincinnati Bengals. It comes your way here on the Lions Television Network. Hi, everyone. Alongside four-time Pro Bowl linebacker Chris Spielman, I'm Matt Shepard. Jennifer Hammond will join us shortly from on the field. This should be a lot of fun because you're going to get a chance to see the first-teamers a little bit longer here tonight. And, Chris, that means more Matthew Stafford in this up-tempo offense.
Yeah, I thought Matthew was excellent last week. I like the fact that he can make a tough throw with somebody in his face. But also, the thing that stood out is he's starting to get the timing with his new receivers. Marvin Jones right there from Cincinnati is a free agent. And, of course, moving his feet and being able to have the live arm to throw across his body. And Matthew Stafford, everybody knows if he needs the fastball, he has that in his arsenal.
In this offense, 14 different receivers caught passes, but they're going to need a little bit more time by that offensive line. They need some reps, don't they?
They do, and Taylor Decker is the one that needs the most reps. So when you look at Taylor, he struggled a little bit last week, had the holding call, then he gave up the sack to James Harrison. But I got news for you. Taylor Decker's a good football player. The more reps that Taylor gets in preseason, the more he'll be ready for the regular season. He'll be outstanding when it's all said and done.
All right, let's talk about this defense a little bit. I thought they were pretty impressive last week, and Devin Taylor seems very comfortable in his first full season as a starter.
Well, when you look at him, he has all the physical tools. First of all, his length at 6'7". I love to get off on the ball. Then, of course, if you can have an inside move and beat a double team and get to the quarterback and get the sack, that's a benefit. But right here, you see his ability to finish. And when you have Nada push in the middle, Ziggy on the opposite side, he should be able to shine in this defense this year.
It'll be a challenge tonight against Pro Bowl tackle Andrew Whitworth. We have two former Bengals playing for the Lions right now, including Marvin Jones, who says, "This should be fun. I haven't seen my boys in a long time." He'll get his fill tonight. Next. Jim Caldwell and the Lions felt pretty good with their effort last week against Pittsburgh. They're hoping for the same against Cincinnati here tonight. The Diversified Members Credit Union brings you the coin toss.
That side is heads. That's tails. Cincinnati, you're the visitors. What's your call? Tails is the call. Tails is the call. It is heads. Which way you want to kick? You're going to kick that way? Detroit's won the toss. We'll receive the first half kickoff. Good luck, captains.
So we will need Jim Caldwell's first team offense out on the football field first. And Jennifer Hammond, that means some cooperation from the Ford Field faithful, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, guys. We saw a sample of how the Lions offense is evolving last week in Pittsburgh. 15 different players caught a pass, and they need to have pretty much a real quiet room so that Matthew Stafford can step up to the line and make those play calls. Because of the fact that they're going no huddle so much this season, they've got these signs that they put up on the Jumbotron that say, "Quiet please, offense at work." And hopefully a quiet crowd here can be a real advantage as the 12th man just kind of sits on their hands for a minute while the Lions go to work. Of course, when the Bengals are on offense, hey, they can do whatever they want.
Make as much noise as you possibly can when Cincy's got the football, right?
Absolutely. But let's talk for a second why a team would go no huddle. The reasons behind that. One is you can control the tempo. Two, you can control the defensive substitution. Like if a team tries to match up with you defensively, you see them running 12 guys, you're already at the ball, you get a quick snap, you get the flag. So the reason for the no huddle is also to get a pre-snap look at what type of defense you're facing. So there's three reasons. You can control the tempo, you can get a pre-snap look, and you can get a team jumping off sides or have too many men on the field if you see them try to substitute to match up.
Do defenders get more easily winded when you got that up-tempo offense and no huddle?
Well, you do, and here's why. Now, you can get receivers winded a little bit too, but the offensive line never chases a ball. And what's the old philosophy on defense? 11 to the football.
Right.
Well, it's tough to get 11 to the football, especially all the way from the backside, if you're going no huddle. But that's something that Matthew Stafford, Jim Bob Cooter, Jim Caldwell, they're all embracing, and it's coming together nicely.
Mike Nugent kicks it away. T.J. Jones will field it about 8 yards deep and bring it out. Looking for a middle seam. Spun around at the 15 and dropped before the 15-yard line. Matt Stafford 4 for 6 last week. And Chris Spielman feels good, feels like that tempo is to his liking, and he likes the responsibility, doesn't he?
Well, he does, and I think, you know, he sees what he sees, and he's a smart guy, and he understands defenses. So they're entrusting him, and a lot of work has gone into this offseason of him understanding conceptually what Jim Bob Cooter wants on that offense, and they trust him to put the Lions in the best play possible.
Theo Riddick, the lone setback, wears 25 in Honolulu. To the air on first down, across the middle, and it's caught at the 20-yard line. Tonight's offensive starting lineups brought to you by the Ford Motor Company. Matt Stafford connecting with Anquan Bolden there. Riley Reif has been the best offensive lineman so far in camp for Detroit. And Bolden is that guy, not afraid to go across the middle as he did moments ago to pick up 6 or 7. Riddick spins away, stiff arms his way for a first down.
It's a nice job by Cole Wick right there, sealing the backside. And we're talking about with the injury of Ebron, Cole Wick's getting an opportunity to play, and see right there, he seals Ioka, number 43, allowing Riddick to spin out to get the extra yards.
Cole Wick, an undrafted free agent from Incarnate Word, has made an impression so far in camp. 1st and 10 for Stafford and the Lions on their first possession of the night. Stafford in tight coverage, and he feeds Golden Tate for another first down.
So again, the solid protection. First of all, Taylor Decker at the top of your screen does a good job of pushing his man past the pocket, allowing Matthew Stafford a nice throwing lane. And again, he's so accurate with the football, throwing to his favorite target. Last year and the previous year, Golden Tate.
90 catches last year for Golden Tate, over 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Stafford changes the play at the line of scrimmage. This is a lot of freedom for him.
Yep. And you notice the defense has the ability to audible themselves. They stayed with the blitz right there.
Riddick gobbled up for a loss.
And what happened there, Matt, just so people understand that Matthew Stafford read the blitz from the opposite side. So he'll check. Now he's going to call the run away from the blitz, and this time Cole Wick does not seal the backside. Pecco, number 94, does a good job of forcing that ball to cut back into the blitz. Credit the defense winning that one.
Michael Johnson, the defensive end, making the tackle, the 8th-year pro out of Georgia Tech. 2nd and 11. Good pocket. Now he'll throw up top. Watch Jones. Got Jones inside the 30-yard line.
Solid protection. It all starts right there. Riley Reif does a good job. Riddick needs to step up a little bit to get out of Matthew's way so he has room to step up into the pocket. But this is what you want to see. Matthew Stafford throwing away from the safety. Poor angle by the safety, and Marvin Jones field awareness of getting both feet in bounds.
Sean Williams, the safety. Dre Kirkpatrick, the cornerback, on the coverage there. 1st and 10 for Stafford and the Lions at the Cincinnati 29. Empty set. Looking right for Jones. Caught, and a flag on the play against Dre Kirkpatrick. If it stands, it's another first down.
No, he's not as big as Calvin Johnson, but he plays big. And right there, he uses that 6'2" frame, boxing out Dre Kirkpatrick.
Right to the pass. Illegal contact. Defense, number 27. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So when you play strong like this, it's tough to cover. Watch it. First of all, the strength to get off of Dre Kirkpatrick. You see that little pass rush swim move? That's nice, and his body seals the defender away from him, keeping his body between the quarterback and the football and the defender. Very nice.
from the 10. Quick slant. Jones to the 5 and pushed backwards.
And just a nice read when that corner's off. It's easy pitch and catch and a good communication of eyes and understanding between Stafford and Jones.
That was Jones last year catching passes from Andy Dalton and A.J. McCarron. Stafford 5 for 5 for 75 yards so far on this drive. I formation behind him. Burton the up back, Rick the tailback. It'll be Riddick. Caught from behind for a loss. Vincent Ray, the linebacker, led this team in tackles in each of the last 2 years. And Michael Johnson.
Yeah, Michael Johnson did a great job of penetrating inside. You see Michael Johnson, number 90, does a swim move on Taylor Decker. Again, another lesson for the young rookie playing out there at offensive tackle, forcing Riddick to cut back before he wanted to.
Johnson, originally a third-round pick by Cincy, went to Tampa and now is back with the Bengals. Here's a third down and goal from the 6. He'll throw for it. Oh, double coverage and almost hauled in by Golden Tate.
Again, right there, Matthew Stafford just pointed to Cole Wick because he had Cole Wick all alone right there beyond the orange pylon. And he understands it. He tried to force that one into Golden Tate. Number 89, Cole Wick, will be wide open in the flat because the corner chased Golden Tate in with the safety. You got to make that catch, though. That's a great throw into double coverage. That's what we talk about, throwing people open.
24-yard field goal attempt for Matt Prater. And it is good. So not the end result that Matt Stafford and the Lions' first-string offense wanted, but they get points. They converted some third downs, and they're on top early. Points anytime you have the football. If it ends usually in a kick, you feel pretty good. The Lions feel pretty good because they got a 24-yard field goal from Matt Prater. They wanted more, but 10 plays, 79 yards in a little bit more than 5 minutes. The scoring drive presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical will have to suffice for now. Devin Bell will kick it deep for Detroit. And this will be brought out. Good seam. And then just right around, just past the 25-yard line. Past the 25-yard line for Cincinnati to take over 1st and 10 from Rex Burkhardt. Nice job by the former Nebraska Cornhusker. Ziggy Ansah is that guy on the front 4. Only J.J. Watt and Khalil Mack had more sacks than Ziggy Ansah last year, 14.5. What makes him so dangerous?
His motor. I mean, he is tremendous. And, you know, a lot of people don't remember a guy, maybe they do, named Mike Cofer that I played with that I thought had the best motor ever. Well, Ziggy Ansah is at that level. And that takes a lot for me to say that, because what sets him apart from everything else is he goes 100 miles per hour every play. Andy
Dalton will throw on 1st down for Cincinnati and complete it. This Lions defense starting lineup brought to you by Lee Steinberg. We talked about Ansah on the other end. It's Devin Taylor, who had a sack last week. The linebackers is interesting because right now we're looking at Josh Bynes. And to your white end in the middle, Kyle Van Noy, who's played pretty well last week, but soon you'll see 54 DeAndre Levy. Not tonight, but he should be ready to go against Indianapolis. And Darius Slay did not play last week, but he is as a starting corner here. Now, we talked about Ziggy Ansah. Here's what an impact he has made since being a 1st-round pick in 2013. These numbers are really gaudy for a guy that many people described as raw, Chris.
Well, again, you look at the guys that he's gone up against, and the next guy is Sheldon Richardson at 16.5 sacks. But to me, when you watch him play, it's just his effort that stands out. He can beat you with speed, then with that length, and he gets those long arms. If he gets leverage on you, he can beat you with power.
30 career sacks. He gets after Dalton from the backside, who throws on the run, and it is caught inside the 45-yard line of Detroit by Tyler Boyd. Now, this is a kid that Chris loved coming out of college. at the University of Pittsburgh. There is a flag on the play. Could be against Detroit. Let's see. But then we'll talk about Tyler Boyd a little bit. 6'2", $197, just a rookie.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 28. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
It's against Condre Diggs.
Well, Tyler Boyd is one of those guys where if the ball's in the vicinity, he's going to come down. Outstanding hands, really good run after the catch and a big target. But he's a guy that went in the second round, and if he ran a little bit faster, if he ran in the mid 4.4s or low 4.4s, he would have been a first-round pick.
Fumble on the snap and a flag thrown. Illegal motion against the Bengals.
You know, we talked about up-tempo for the Lions.
Offensive left guard, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
They're not the only team that's going to do that, Matt. And Cincinnati's going a little bit of no-huddle tempo right here. It's a nice weapon that you can have. It's got a little antsy right there. Everybody was on the same page except the center. Bowling.
Clint Bowling, 6-year out of Georgia, 4-year starter. Andy Dalton out of the shotgun. 2-time Pro Bowler in his 6th year out of TCU. On a 1st and 15 for the Bengals in their first possession of the night. Dalton across the middle. A little high, but it's hauled in by one of the best receivers in the game, A.J. Green, using that 6'4", 210-pound frame.
I want you to watch Haloti Ngata. Now, it didn't work out here, but this is what you're going to get from him. He's lost 25 pounds, number 92 right there. Take a look at him pushing the pocket and forcing Dalton to throw the ball high. A.J. Green's a superb receiver. He goes up and gets it. But if you can get that kind of push from Ngata, that's going to be great for this defense moving forward.
Doing it against a really good right guard, too, in Kevin Zeitler. 1st and 10. Play action for Dalton. He'll sling it out to the right side. Jeremy Hill gobbled up by Tahir Whitehead. He read it beautifully, and that looked like a Chris Spielman-like tackle.
Okay, let's get into a quick discussion about rugby tackle and football tackle. On a rugby tackle, Tahir Whitehead would hit and go to his knees and roll. On a football tackle, he's going to put his head across the bow, he's going to bring his feet, he's going to come with bad intentions, and he's going to drive through the ball carrier. You can take rugby tackling and give it to rugby. Keep football tackling with football by bringing your feet through the target.
High formation behind Dalton. This is Jeremy Hill switching directions, shifting his way inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line before Raphael Bush came up and made the tackle.
So whenever you have a run like that and you're in a gap defense, meaning one guy, one gap, 2 guys are going to end up in one gap. And right here, Reed and number 99, Kyrie Thornton, get crossed up. And when you have that kind of push and cutback, you're going to get positive yards.
3rd down and short for the Bengals. Giovanni Bernard is the tailback. Brandon Tate comes in motion for Cincinnati, and they sling it out to him. He's got the catch, the first down, and pushed out of bounds inside the 10.
It's too easy. You got 3rd and 1. You have to play tight man-to-man. You got to get up and play press coverage. If you're going to play 5 yards off like Slay was playing, it's too easy pitch and catch. And another thing, when you're one-on-one, I know you're on an island out there, make the tackle. You got to make the tackle.
Tate, the former Patriot, and now 1st and goal. Darius Slay, who did not play last week, but signed a big offseason deal to stay here for a while. This is going to be a touchdown for Jeremy Hill. 12 touchdowns a year ago, most by any Cincinnati running back since 2006. And the Bengals made it look easy on that drive.
Yeah, Russell Bodine right here is the one. See the seal block? Whenever you're able to seal that one technique like he was, that's out the door, because with that seal block, you cut off any type of backside pursuit from your defense linebacker / defensive tackle. Too easy.
Wow. That's some good push that you were talking about. You want Detroit's offensive line to get some push. That's some pretty good push by that Cincinnati offensive line that, by the way, is playing without their starting right tackle and Cedric Aboigi because of an injury. They've got some depth up front. Detroit's trying to build similar like depth. Marvin Lewis, by the way, first ever preseason win came against Detroit in 2003. He's done a fine job in 14 years there in Cincinnati.
Well, he's looking for that first ever playoff win.
Right.
He's a great coach. I mean, his stability and but you're going to ultimately be fine about what you do in the playoffs.
5 minutes, 34 seconds, please. 5:34. 5:44, please. 5:44.
Lewis, by the way, franchise record 112 wins.
Thank you.
And his team has made the postseason in each of the last 5 seasons. There's only 3 other teams to boast that: Denver, Green Bay, and New England. But as you mentioned, the all-elusive first postseason win for him. Extra point from Mike Nugent. And it's good. So an impressive opening drive capped off by Jeremy Hill. His favorite thing to do is to walk his 2 dogs. He walked in for 6 there. 10-play drive. Cincinnati counterpunches with an 8-play, 74-yard drive in just a little bit more than 4 minutes. Jeremy Hill, who rushed for 12 touchdowns last year, notches his first of the preseason moments ago.
There's some depth at that running back position. Bernard, Pierman, Hill, Rex Burkhead.
Yep.
Young man we'll see later in the evening, Bronson Hill, a guy that you know well from Eastern Michigan.
Right, yeah, Grand Rapids kid. Mike Nugent will kick it away. Nugent's been a steady force. He's 4th all-time in Cincinnati career points. And Andy Dalton looking things over. A little underrated, do you think, Chris? Only Joe Flacco and Andy Dalton are the only quarterbacks to reach the postseason 5 straight years in the Super Bowl era.
So I think Marvin Lewis is a great head coach. I think Andy Dalton is an outstanding quarterback. But ultimately, you're defined in this league by winning.
Correct.
And you got to win playoff games. That's just the reality of that position and the reality of the business that we're in. You're defined by winning in the playoffs. Getting to the playoffs, then winning. Getting there is not enough,
right?
Especially for this team.
His winning percentage in the regular season, 65.5%. But then it's the next step. Here's Andre Roberts, hoping to take the next step with the Lions after a good opening week. Weaves his way to the 25, 26-yard line. Matt Stafford and the Lions' first-string offense with their 2nd possession of the night. When we return, Detroit Lions season ticket member. For member benefits and details, visit DetroitLions.com. 7-3. Bengals in front. Anquan Boldin with a key catch on that first drive for Detroit. And a guy who has been so important on so many different teams that he's played already. Won the Super Bowl in Baltimore, of course. But I don't know if people remember, his first ever game as a pro came against the team he plays for now. And it was a big, big game against the Lions on that day. That was for Anquan Boldin a while back now. Now in his 14th season. Over 200 yards on that Sunday. Stafford turns and gives to Riddick. Not a bad push for a gain of about 3 or so. Boldin, of course, drafted by the Cardinals. Played with Baltimore, and there's the day on that 2003 afternoon. 10 catches, over 200 yards, and a couple of times finding the end zone as well.
So strong. Smart, great worker, consummate pro. A lot of young receivers can learn from that guy.
San Francisco's Walter Payton Man of the Year last year. Nice grab by Tate. Sliding down at about the 38-yard line, hauls it in to move the chain. Sean Williams on the coverage.
Just throwing the ball to protect his receiver. This ball's thrown low and away because you have a corner coming right there late. If that ball's thrown higher, he throws it too far outside. Golden Tate's taking a shot.
Riddick took a shot and then a little yak yards after the carry. Jennifer Hammond's on the sidelines. Jen?
And you know, the thing about Anquan Boldin at 35 years old, not only is he naturally gifted, but he also takes tremendous care of himself. Great praise from Jim Caldwell earlier this week. He said he is a big man in a little man's body. He plays with a toughness and grit, and he punishes more than he takes punishment, and boy, that's paid off. Since entering the NFL in 2003, Boldin ranks 4th in receptions and receiving yards. Matt?
6'1", 220. It's a big man for me. There's a fumble, and it's recovered by Theo Riddick. 2nd time in as many weeks Matt Stafford has been drilled and coughed it up. This time it was Carlos Dunlap.
Well, where the pass rush has been successful for the Lions' opponents has been out on the edge. And right here, Carlos Dunlap is just going to beat on the rookie tight end Cole Wick, and really that's no matchup. And he just beats him with a nice little swim and rip on the get off. That's a tough matchup to put Cole Wick there all alone against a seasoned veteran like Dunlap.
This defense had 28 takeaways. There's a flag on the play. 28 takeaways a year ago. They had 21 picks, third most in the NFL last year. It's a good Cincinnati defense. It really is.
You know, Matt, this is a little thing, and if it goes against the Bengals, I think it's the right call. But that's a veteran move by Matt Stafford of changing up the cadence, because the defense
This
after a
was
sack,
on infraction by the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
they get all jacked up and they want to get another sack. So what does he do? Okay, well, let me try to get these 5 yards back that we lost. And he just hard counts them, knowing that they're going to be all fired up to get sack number 2 in 2 plays, especially the guy that got the previous sack, Carlos Dunlap, who jumped off sides.
So a 3rd down and 10 for Stafford in the Lions offense. Looking for their first 3rd down conversion of the night.
So you got man down here at the bottom. They're playing a zone up top. Let's see what Matt does as far as reading with Marvin Jones.
Looks that way.
Yep.
Throws that way and incomplete. Bracket coverage for him. A little over the top help. And Detroit will punt it away.
That ball was a little bit late, and that's probably the first time this preseason where I saw the timing between Marvin Jones and Matthew Stafford off. First of all, he didn't need to run a 17-yard route, which allowed Pac-Man Jones, who's playing the safety, to get over there and get the bump. But that route would have been running about at the sticks. That'd be a 1st down because they didn't have the guy to cover him in the flat. Sean Williams, the safety.
Jones was a Pro Bowl last year. Martin kicks it away. Good boot. Fielded at the 5-yard line. How's the coverage? Pretty good, but a little leaky at times. John Bonamosi making the tackle just shy of the 30-yard line. Let's see what the Bengals can do with the football for a 2nd time tonight. For Andy Dalton, the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, whose first pass as a pro, as a rookie, came against the Lions in the first game, and he threw a pick. He had a rating of 54.5%. But since that time, Chris, obviously he's grown. He and Peyton Manning, the only quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for 3,000 yards or more in their first 5 seasons, each of their first 5 seasons.
I mean, he's really good. And the guy that backs him up, A.J. McCarron, who we'll see later tonight, he's really good. In fact, I think he's the starter level for the NFL. I really think he's that good.
Giovanni Bernard on a play action. Picks up the blitz, throws, and incomplete, and nearly intercepted, and you could argue should have been by Glover Quinn. He was playing center field, and Dalton threw it high for Tyler Boyd.
Well, and Kyle Van Noy gets a shot on Andy Dalton, who gets up off the ground slowly. Right here, Kyle Van Noy coming on the blitz is blocked into Andy Dalton. Ball, poorly thrown ball by Andy Dalton. Another Bengal injured.
It's Jake Fisher.
Which they've had problems on their offensive line and injuries.
Fisher from Traverse City, Michigan. Played his college ball at Oregon. Originally committed to the University of Michigan, and then went on in the great Northwest to be a Duck. And so some concerns for Marvin Lewis, no doubt.
First of all, good job of Van Noy. And again, we talked about it last week, and where offensive linemen are most vulnerable, and usually we see them wear knee braces, is when guys fall on the back of them where they get thrown into them. But nice pressure there by Kyle Van Noy, just showing his versatility.
So Eric Winston comes in to play right tackle for Cincinnati on a 2nd down and 10. Giovanni Bernard is to the right of Andy Dalton. Brandon Tate on a little swing pass. Got a couple of blocks. Spun around shy of the 1st down. Attacking style defense. Whitehead, Quinn, and Slay there for Detroit.
Isn't it interesting, Matt? And just take a look at this play as Brandon Tate's going to come into motion. That has the pro game. Usually colleges used to imitate pros. And that's a college football play right there. That's just a little out of the spread formation. That's just a little swing screen when you have 2 receivers one-on-one, and you're asking Brandon Tate, the 3rd guy, to beat the open man as far as open field tackle.
3rd down and 2 for the Bengals. Giovanni Bernard runs right into the Lions defense. They shove him Backwards. Clover Quinn came up, and Tahir Whitehead was there to help stuff the hole. And
I'll tell you, it's set up too by Haloti Nada, number 92, who fights off the double team, forces the cut back, and Glover Quinn, coming from his safety position, forcing the cut back to Tahir Whitehead. We talk about production from linebackers. Linebackers are productive if they make tackles 2 yards or less. If they're making tackles 6 or 7 yards downfield, that's not good for anybody. The guy can have 200 tackles, but they're for 13 yards downfield. Does nobody any good.
Right. You want to keep guys in front of it, but you also want to be at that point of attack. They'll measure it and see that it's a chain link or two just short. Marvin Lewis will send his punt team out there.
Good response by the Lions defense after giving up a touchdown last series, coming back and getting a 3 and out.
Jim Caldwell nods in agreement with you, Chris. So T.J. Jones back to receive the punt from Kevin Huber. Jones in a fight for one of those wide receiver spots. We'll see some guys later on today. Quinshad Davis, Jay Lee.
Jeremy Curley had a nice game last week.
So did Andre Roberts. He was our player of the game. Huber last week averaged 44.5 yards per punt. Jones from the 21. Swarmed under and a flag on the play. 8 penalties last week for Detroit, 5 for Cincinnati. While Detroit was beating Pittsburgh, Cincinnati lost to Minnesota by 1. And the Vikings told you that's as physical a front seven as anyone's going to see this year.
And it's been proven when you take a look at Cincinnati's, especially their rush defense last year. They were 7th in the league, 2nd in scoring. But as far as being physical and tough to move, if you can move this Bengal front seven, if you can get a push by your offensive line on this Bengal front seven, you can get a push on anybody in the National Football League. They're that good up front. And they're big. And you look at the linebackers, Malaluga's 260.
Right.
Vontez Burfict, when he's in there, he's 260. And they brought in Carlos Dansby, who's the small guy, at 245.
But led Cleveland last year with 108 wrap-ups and 3 interceptions, by the way.
And a solid performer, 13th year. Obviously was a great player for the Arizona Cardinals for a long time.
Hard to believe he's never made a Pro Bowl, by the way, Carlos Dansby. Not exactly sure what the delay is here.
They're in their preseason. There you go.
Here we go.
There were fouls by both teams during the play. Number 86 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own during the punt. During the return, there was an illegal block in the back. Number 28 of the receiving team. Detroit has elected to replay from the previous spot. 4th down.
Well, Ron Torbert does a good job of explaining why there was a delay, and here it is.
James Wright, you're not allowed to just run out of bounds to avoid contact because you know the defenders can't hit you. You have to have that field awareness. And young guy trying to make the team. 3rd year out of LSU.
So now Andre Roberts will field this punt. Toes at the 15. No returning. Dropped at the 24-yard line. 1:26 left in this opening quarter. And Matt Stafford and the Lions' first-string offense back out there to try and get something going. Stafford so far 6 for 8, 85 yards. You wanted to see him protected a little bit better because he got bumped at least 3 times last week. He's taken a couple of hits so far in the first 2 drives.
Well, and you have a young rookie tight end, Cole Wick, who's lined up at tight end. Now he's lined up as a wide receiver out at the top. He's learning. When you get that matchup, if you're Carlos Dunlap, you're going to eat that up all day.
Toss sweep to Riddick. Tomlinson pulled. A gain of 1.5 or so. It's difficult for those big guys to get out there. Tomlinson's very athletic. Travis Swanson's an athletic center.
Yeah, well, if you can do this, and Taylor Decker's also pulling, and Taylor misses and just a little late on Pac-Man Jones, who forces that to cut in to conceal that hole. But when you have athletic linemen that can pull, especially if you got a center that can pull, that helps against an odd front or an even front of a defense. That's a 4-3 defense. The guard will block down and replaces the center. The center replaces the guard as far as becoming the puller on outside runs.
Stafford wants to throw. A little quick slant to Golden Tate. He'll pull away, get a first down, and muscle his way past the 45-yard line. So after the catch, is there anybody better in the NFL than this guy?
Not many, and he's pretty good. But I like, you talked about athletic ability. Riley Reef getting downfield, kicking out number 36, Sean Williams, and a good play. And anytime you have off coverage, you'll see more and more NFL teams going to that quick screen, which will be an automatic. It's a good read by Matthew Stafford and Golden Tate.
Just a little slip screen that picks up a first down. Now play action. Stafford slings it out. It's caught just shy of the first down marker by Marvin Jones. Good looking drive here. Can they finish it off with 6? They had to settle for 3 on their first drive. Cincinnati counterpunched with a touchdown run. And the Bengals lead at 7-3. We're 3 through the first quarter of the second preseason game of the year. And the Lions are down by 4 on the Lions television network. Lions general manager Bob Quinn said Marvin Jones was his #1 target in free agency. And you can understand why. He was a phenom at Cal. He was a 5th-round choice in Cincinnati. By the way, he came out of the country in high school from Etiwanda High School as one of the best prospects in the land. And then this is what he did the first couple of seasons with Cincinnati. Cincinnati wanted to keep him despite the 2014 ankle injury, but they really felt like they had a one in A.J. Green, and they're not sure they could have justified the 5 years, $40 million Detroit spent on hauling Jones in off free agency.
Ball start. Offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Matthew Mulligan a little anxious. You know, we'll look at this, but just to go on your point, as you'll see Mulligan just get a little bit antsy because you know he's going to come off the ball and try to get a good run block. But Jones, I mean, you look at it, good hands, all the good things, but he's really smooth for his size. When you watch him run routes, he understands defenses, but there's no effort. It's effortless. It looks easy, and that's when you know you got a smooth, good wide receiver.
2nd and 6 for Stafford in the offense. They want to finish this drive. Riddick bouncing his way forward, a couple yards shy. Jones, by the way, 4 catches on the night and 5 targets. We mentioned the ankle injury in 2014, but a guy who rebounded nicely last year with 8 touchdowns.
Well, he was a 2 in Cincinnati, and you figure that he comes to Detroit, and it's like, you know, the running back replacing Barry Sanders. He's replacing Calvin Johnson.
It's tough.
But he has the ability, but he does not have to do that because of Golden Tate, because of Anquan Bolden. When Ebron's healthy, when Theo Riddick's healthy, all those guys are outstanding receivers.
3rd and 4. Riddick bottled it, and it's incomplete. Yep. Tough one to handle there.
Yeah, and especially 3rd and 4. And you want to get the ball into Riddick's hands, but you don't want to make him work for the football because then he cannot transition from catch to run. Even if he would have caught it, he would have been tackled. As you see right here, the ball's thrown behind, and you're making him work for that football. When you have a linebacker closing down, you don't give a chance of Riddick to make the guy miss.
And the Lions were so good on 3rd down conversions last week, 12 of 19. And tonight they're 0 for 3. Brandon Tate inside his own 10 from Sam Martin. He should launch it right around his own 40. Nose of the football to get a little spin on it. Tate calls for a fair catch. Makes it at the 12-yard line. Cincinnati leads at 7-3. Early in the second, you're watching Lions preseason on the Lions television network. Lions preseason football is brought to you by Jets Pizza. Life is short. Eat better pizza. Let's get Jets. By Tim Hortons. And by Comerica Bank. Bengals with their first possession of the second quarter. They lead at 7-3. Andy Dalton remains under center for Cincinnati. They'll start this drive on the ground. Giovanni Bernard running away from Nevin Lawson. Josh Bynes tracking him down and then pushed out of bounds by Raphael Bush.
Again, you cannot undervalue or overvalue what Haloti does. Haloti, again, getting that penetration and knocking him, forcing the ball carrier, Giovanni Bernard, to bounce outside. Now, that won't go down as a tackle, but that type of play makes linebackers good because he eats up space, eats up blockers, and forces the ball to bounce so linebackers can chase the runner down.
Those are the plays that made him a 5-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he's good.
Dalton will swing it out. Nice catch by Bernard over the shoulder. He gets just past the 20 to the 21-yard line. Are you surprised that Andy Dalton is still in? There's a guy last year, remember, fractured his thumb, went 10-2, had a franchise record quarterback rating. Only Russell Wilson had a better quarterback rating in the NFL last year. You would think they want to preserve him a little bit, no?
You think, but also you don't. To me, you want to get him the work. Like Matthew Stafford took the team into that second quarter.
Right.
You have Andy Dalton. This will be his last series. And next week, usually the formula is for NFL teams is play your starters maybe one series into the second half.
3rd down and 2 for Dalton. Crowd getting a little loud here at Ford Field. It's filled up nicely on this Thursday night. Blitz comes. Dalton delivers. Tate can't handle it. Good coverage by Darius Slay.
Hey, well, because you play press, so you're not giving anything away, so you force the route to be deeper downfield because of the press coverage and the outstanding break and getting that right hand in there to knock it away.
Chris, we saw 2 linebackers and a safety get after Andy Dalton on that play. That shows an awful lot of trust from the corners, doesn't it?
Well, it has to, yeah. I mean, if you're going to line up, and you have to be able to do that in the NFL because of the way the ball's being delivered so quickly from the quarterback's hands, you got to play tight man.
Jeremy Curley dragged down at the 40-yard line. Detroit trails by 4 early here in the second. Glad you're with us on a Thursday night. Orlovsky takes over with 12:45 remaining here in the opening half. Last week against Pittsburgh, 16 of 25, 164 yards, a touchdown and a pick 6.
Really solid last week, except for that mental error of just throwing it away for pick 6 instead of putting it up in the stands for a souvenir. Underthrew.
Matt Stafford's night is done after throwing for 113 yards, misfiring on 3 of his 11 attempts. Offset eye behind Orlovsky. Zach Zenner is the tailback. On an end around, Andre Roberts feels his way close to a 1st down.
Nice job by Michael Burton, Matt. Sustaining his block, not panicking, not losing his balance. Watch Michael Burton become the lead blocker, avoiding 93. Now watch this. Instead of going for the kill shot, he just works position, is able to swivel his hips, allow 3 more yards.
5th round pick a year ago out of Rutgers. Don't see many teams with a fullback, do you? Zach Zenner. Tough sledding in the middle, close to a 1st down.
What we're seeing from teams is that hybrid tight end / H-back, so guys can double, but what you don't see a lot is 2-back formations. A lot of things, the 2-back formations are now been replaced by a lot of 2-tight formations, and they'll just bring a guy off the ball, which becomes the H-back, and they'll motion to the line where the point is one, where the fullback normally runs. That's where the H-back will motion to as far as the point of attack.
His dad played college football. He was a heavy influence for Michael Burton. It's a 3rd down and short. Cole Wick swishes from the left side of the line to the right side. Zenner got the 1st down. Might depend on the mark, but should be enough to move the chains.
Again, Michael Burton just getting enough right there to allow Zenner to get the 1st down. Good patient run by Zach.
Yards after contact for Zach Zenner, who said last week, I think I played okay. 7 carries, 24 yards against Pittsburgh. A 1st down throw for Orlovsky. On a curl route for Roberts. Spun around at the 44 of Cincinnati.
A nice job on the edge by Taylor Decker. has his ups and downs so far in this game, in the previous game, but he's going to get more consistent the more he plays. The only thing here, I'd like to see Roberts just come back for that football a little bit more, because the corner did slip. And if you don't come back for that ball in that type of route, the corner can often recover and knock it away.
2nd and 4. Bengals show blitz. Little bubble. T.J. Jones fighting for extra yardage. That looks good on film. It'll be 3rd and short.
Again, these are automatics now in all offenses. Whenever you have a corner that far off, just turn and rise and throw the football out to the flat. Now he can help himself by showing the ability to make that man miss in open field. That's where you can separate yourself. What do you do after you catch the ball?
Playmakers, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Zenner the deep back on 3rd and 2. Good play action. Two-lane route and intercepted down the far sidelines is Deron Smith, and he will score for the Bengals.
In the middle of that play, you heard me say late. The ball was so late. You know, he's too good to make that throw and that mistake. First of all, he's looking downfield to try to look people off. Well, you don't want to do that in this type of situation. You want to get the yards that's there. If he were to throw the ball right away, if that was his first primary read, that's a 1st down. Instead, since he's so late, Smith is able to jump the rack, take it to 6.
It's a pretty athletic play, by the way, by Smith, the 2nd-year pro out of Fresno State. A 60-yard interception return for 6.
If you're late in the NFL as a quarterback, it's usually that it's an interception, knockdown, or touchdown, pick 6.
Mike Nugent tacks on. No, he missed the extra point. But for the 2nd straight week, an opponent boasts a 6 pick, or a pick 6 rather, at the expense of Dan Orlovsky and the Lions. It's 13-3 Cincy. Deron Smith, one of the plays of the night for Cincinnati. Scoring drive is brought to you by Gardner White. It's the 60-yard interception return for a score, and it's now a 10-point bump for the visitors.
So you recognize zone defense right here. All these guys are going to drop, right? So you need 2 yards. Zenner's going to be open in the flat right now. Don't try to be a hero right here. Try to make the play. And he tries to look downfield and play it off. Right now, the ball should be delivered. If the ball's delivered, right when I said right now, it's a 1st down. The fact that he tried to look off, he's late on the throw, allowing his zone defender to jump the route, and the result is he's dancing in the end zone, and he'll be on a highlight somewhere.
Dan Orlovsky's 11-year pro, man. I mean, usually those are things that younger players have problems with, as Andre Roberts returns it 2 yards deep. Dropped just shy of the 25. But in fairness to Orlovsky, last week he did the same thing, similar anyway, a pick 6, and rebounded nicely. Can he do it here tonight again?
Well, he's been around long enough. Yeah, he's got to do it. But, you know, that's a mistake that you can't make. I've been a big believer in this. Every defense has a weakness. It's the quarterback's job to recognize where the weakness of that defense is and attack it. Understanding down and distance and situation. You got Zenner matched up with a safety that's 5 yards off the ball for a 2-yard gain in the flat. If that ball would have been delivered on time, the drive is still alive.
Zenner this time on the ground. Got past the 25 to the 26-yard line. I like the way he squares his shoulders.
He's a tough guy. Now, he's not going to wow anybody, but what he does do is he rarely loses yards. And again, right there, on contact, he's able to drive for another 1.5 yards. Yards are tough to come by in the NFL. He'll get you those tough yards.
Won a job last year because of his preseason when he averaged over 5 yards per touch and gained 183 yards. Orlovsky to the air, quickly to Cole Witt. Oh, he is drilled at the 27-yard line by Chucky Brown, a 5th-year pro out of the University of Texas.
Understanding the weakness of the defense right there to get positive yards. Fedulum, the safety, coming off the safety blitz and right away attack the flat. That should have been his read when they had that 3rd and 2. Same type of thing.
3rd down and 5. Lions are 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Bengals jumped. Free play. Downtown and incomplete. Intended for T.J. Jones. Dre Kirkpatrick on the coverage.
Nice move by Orlovsky to go hard count and to keep the play alive and to have the understanding to take the deep shot knowing that you got a free play.
Offside. Defense, number 69. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Take him any way you can get him. Penalty against Deshaun Williams, and now it's a 1st down opportunity for Orlovsky. Zenner. Nothing doing. Lions' 2nd team offensive line unit is in there. Graham Glasgow, the center. They got Joe Dahl at the right guard spot. Last week he was playing the left guard position. It's a loss of 2 for Detroit. Across the middle, caught by Colwick into Cincinnati territory. And it takes 3 guys to wrestle him down at the 45.
We talked about how college used to copy pros. Now pros are copying college right here. It's just a zone read play. You're going opposite. The middle linebackers drop on a seam route. Beautiful read. Orlovsky and Colwick, again, understanding routes, getting in position, securing the catch before he makes the run. Right there, that spread offense right there, Matt. Same look.
His position coach, tight end coach Al Golden, said he's smart, really tough, has a really good chance to make this squad. And you saw the toughness right there after the catch. Secure the football, make him bring you down.
Two previous plays got hit in the flat hard, made the catch.
Dwayne Washington, who stood out last week on special teams. Detroit got some things done offensively last week, defensively, and he was the reason that they graded out positively from a special teams aspect.
Yeah, I think he's got juice, man, and the fact that when he took that kickback, nobody was gaining ground on him, and he's a running back, shows how strong of a sprinter he is. And really a tough guy, too. I think he has a really good chance of making this team, because if he's returning kicks and you don't have to have Abdullah back there returning kicks, you're starting tailback.
123 total yards last week for Dwayne Washington. 4th best in the NFL in week 1. Play action for Orlovsky. Rolls the pocket, throws. Jones has got it inside the 25 and into the red zone on a nice, pretty pitch and catch.
All about patience. Patience by Dan Orlovsky. I love Jones coming from all the way across the field, working his man one-on-one. Dan lets him get open and throws him open by throwing to a spot. Dan Orlovsky responding after the mental error that led to a pick 6, just like he did last week.
To the air again. Pressure comes from the backside. And he just was able to unload it. Pat Sims was breathing down his neck. The 9th-year pro out of Auburn.
That's about 340 pounds breathing down your neck.
That'll make you get rid of it fast, won't it?
But that's that 3 technique, and that's that one-on-one matchup with the guard. And if you can get that type of push, what it does is collapse the pocket, not allow the quarterback to step into any type of throw.
2nd and 10. Bubble to Roberts. Good stiff arm. You get to the 12-yard line or so. Stiff arm Chris Lewis Harris, the 4th-year pro out of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
So that's a run play.
Basically,
right there.
yeah.
Well, it is, but everybody thinks it's a run. The offensive line thinks it's a run. That's just the communication between the receiver and quarterback, because the corner's so far off that you just rise and throw, so you'll never get an illegal man downfield. Running backs running a run play. Everybody knows it's a run play, but except the quarterback and receiver know it's a pass.
Bengals showing blitz.
Well, you got one-on-one coverage down here. If they're going to stay in that blitz right there, you need to work that area.
Roberts against Lewis Harris. Low snap. Orlovsky forced to deliver. And it's incomplete. That was a low snap and pressure coming from Vincent Ray. So Orlovsky caught, threw, and hoped.
Well, that's a win right there. Vincent Ray comes right up the middle on touch, and that's on Graham Glasgow or the right guard. Because if one guy, Glasgow, is sliding to his left, everybody has to slide to the left. And the one area you do not want to leave open is right up the middle, because it's the shortest point to the quarterback.
Also the most difficult place for a quarterback to handle any type of pressure, right?
Absolutely.
Matt Prater on the field goal, his 2nd of the night. Lions seem to be moving the football pretty well. They just can't find the end zone. They got to rectify that. They're down by 7. Lions have actually thrown for 167 yards on this Thursday night, but they've had to settle for 2 field goals. It's the preseason, Chris Spielman, but if this is during the regular season, you don't like that it's ended up in field goals twice now here tonight.
No, and especially that's in the area where Detroit was really strong last year, 2nd in the league, batting .690 for touchdowns inside the red zone, and come away with 2 field goals. That's a win for a defense. You can hold a team to field goals. That's a win.
Remember, this Cincinnati defense at 17.5 points per game, surrendering 279 points, best in franchise history, and only Arizona surrendered fewer, and only 2 points fewer. As Devin Bell kicks it away, Brandon Tate found a seam and got close to the 35-yard line. He didn't need a whole lot of room, but you can see why he can be so dynamic as a special teamer.
We'll start here with Orlovsky again, making a nice comeback after the pick 6. Just off a little play-action zone read play, finding the open receiver, and right here, the patience to allow T.J. Jones to come from across the field to throw him open so he can catch it on the run. And Matt Prater money as usual.
New quarterback in for Cincinnati. 2nd-year pro out of Alabama, A.J. McCarron. A quick slip screen to the near side. And good coverage by Darren Walls to trip up the receiver. Now, McCarron's a lot bigger than a lot of people think. 6'3", 220-pounder. He was 36-4 at Alabama and set Alabama records in touchdowns, yards, completion percentage, and interception percentage. You like him a lot. Big body, good strong arm.
So he's one of those guys that when he's a free agent, somebody's going to bid on him. He's going to be a starter. I think he's got starter ability.
On the ground, good run up close to a 1st down. An offensive line for Rex Burkhardt getting some good push.
Right there, they're sealing it off, and you're able to seal Josh Bynes. You get a hat on a hat. You have no safety up there, and Whitehead sitting back on the cutback lane when there's no cutback. You're vacating the area, and Burkhead just hits it one step in north and south. That's not good gap integrity by the Lions defensive front 7.
1st down for the Bengals as we approach the 3-minute mark of this opening half. Empty set for McCarron. Looks downfield, throws downfield, and not exactly on the same page with James Wright, his wide receiver. You like the way he throws a deep ball. You say he can throw a really good deep ball as well as just about anybody.
Well, I did a few of his games when he was at Alabama, and he doesn't miss. And he trusts his wide receivers to make a play. Now, to me, that was a poor read by McCarron. I thought Wright had the right read. Why? Because the corner was on top of Wright. When the corner is on top of a wide receiver, he turns it around. That ball should have been delivered. That was a misread by McCarron. Big 2nd down here. Fans are into it. Get pressure.
Blitz comes. Burkhardt up the gut. First down and more. Boy, good hold. And I don't know how you can't love the way this kid runs the football.
Well, you could run through that hole.
No, I couldn't.
Well, you could skate through it then. But again, we're getting two guys. You see 98 and 91 are out there. Two guys in the same gap, which allows, see 91 get pushed, creating that seam, and it's too easy. I mean, the gap integrity of this defense, what I mean by that, guy, one man, one gap, get your gap, and force the ball to bounce. When you're able to hit it north and south without even making a cut or hesitation, it's too easy.
It's that first string offensive line for the most part for Cincinnati. McCarron up top. He wants 6. It's a little long. Intended for Wright yet again.
Better read, though, by McCarron and Wright getting back on the same page. He went deep because the corner was even with the wide receiver. And the rule is, if the wide receiver's even, he's leaving. Take a look right now. See, right here, the corner Lawson is even with Wright. So right there, that tells the wide receiver to continue my go route. That tells the quarterback to throw deep because he's even level.
Good coverage by Lawson. I mean, he's in the right place, usually at the right time. Whether he makes the play or not, yet to be determined sometimes. But Nevin Lawson, good coverage on that play. And McCarron sidearmed that second down throw. Incomplete. Third time he's tried to target James Wright, but third time they haven't been able to connect.
Got to be alert for Burkhead here. Very good receiver out of the backfield. Excellent at screens.
Bengals 2 for 4 on third downs tonight.
Well, you got to play. You're playing man defense here, so I imagine you're going to bring some type of pressure with it. There it is.
Coming up the middle. McCarron throws. There's Burkhead. Chris spotted him. Balanced up for a first down. Fumbled, but the ground caused the fumble. The whistle did blow. Well, you tagged that right away. 2-minute warning. Cincinnati on the march after picking up.
Ruling on the field is that the runner was down by contact prior to losing the ball. Was able to play the first down. This is a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Picking up the key first down on that third down play. Got to watch those guys. The little scat backs out of the backfield.
It's a fumble.
Bengals still alive on the drive.
Bad call.
The commercial break. My partner Chris Spielman said, bad call. And here's why. Remember now, ground causing the fumble. If the guy is down, Rex Burkhardt was not down yet, or Burkhead rather, and Jim Caldwell throws the red challenge flag.
Good job, coach.
Detroit has challenged the ruling on the field on the previous play that the runner was down by contact prior to losing the ball. We'll review the play.
Now, the only way they can call this down by contact is watch number 24 for Nevin Lawson. He got him on the towel, but he's not down yet. He's not down yet. That's the third step where he goes down. The ball is out before any contact is being made. To me, first down, Lions. Right there, it's a fumble. It's simple. Let's go. It's a waste of time on replay. Look at it, turn it over, and let's go.
And run your 2-minute offense if you're the Lions.
Yeah.
See, the ground does cause the fumble, but you're right. He was not down by contact. And that extra effort oftentimes we see in football games, this time by Rex Burkhead. The extra effort that you're trying to give, that you're trying to get your team, and a little extra yard here or two, and this time would have been enough for a first down. Oftentimes can hurt you.
Yeah, Rex looks guilty right there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He's hiding his head under the helmet. Now, I don't know if they're calling that contact, but he's not down by that contact. So he goes to the ground. Nobody's contacted him, so he's still alive. The ball pops out. It's a fumble. Rex is open, man. He's a good football player, though.
Yeah, he really is.
Good. Special teams, he can return. Hard runner.
It's a throwback, you know. Sixth-round pick in 2013.
The runner was touched prior to going down. His elbow touched the ground before he lost the ball. The ruling on the field is confirmed. Detroit is charged with their first timeout.
So they're saying Lawson, because of the touch, that's what caused him to go down. That's the only way you can explain that call. Because if he falls down and the elbow causes the fumble without being touched.
Without being touched is the key word.
So they said Lawson, by touching the towel with his elbow, he was down by contact.
The ground cannot cause the fumble if you're touched.
Right.
He just didn't appear to be touched. Cedric Pierman is the lone setback to the left of A.J. McCarron, and he'll get the call. Good speed, but tripped up at the 28-yard line.
Like Quandre Diggs coming up from a corner. Boy, it's nice to see a physical corner make a tackle. It's almost an oxymoron saying physical corner, but right here, Quandre Diggs, along with Tavon Wilson.
That's what they like about him. They love his physicality.
Well, that's why he plays the nickel, which is slash linebacker.
High quality for a 6th-round pick a year ago.
Very good.
2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1. Pierman stays in there on this offensive set for Cincy. Now it's empty. McCarron on an out pattern. Nice dancing move to get to the 15-yard line by James Wright. Let's go down to Jennifer Hammond on the sidelines. Jen?
And, you know, for all intents and purposes, guys, Quan Diggs is a starter in this defense. The Lions play about 60% of nickel, making him the starting the nickel cornerback, and he gets a lot of playing time, and he certainly is making his presence felt tonight.
He deserves a lot of playing time. Good player.
Yeah, and that's the norm in the NFL nowadays, is that most teams play 60 to 65% nickel because of the 3 wide receiver sets.
McCarron wants to throw. Flag on the play. Rolls. He's got his man. Burkhead dancing his way. Skipping inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. Let's see if it stands.
I think it's going against the Lions. Kyle Van Noy had a shot to make an open field tackle. Burkhead gave him a leg and took it away.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 24. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
It's on Nevin Lawson.
It's about being disciplined right here. See right there at 24, Nevin Lawson. I don't know if he hit him in the face or the chest. Official was right there, so I got on him for the missed call and the fumble. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt right there.
Jim Caldwell loves this young man's intensity. That's for sure. He told us this week he'll fight you at the drop of a hat. He knows his duties. He's going to die trying to do it. He's intense. Maybe a little too intense on that trip. 1st and goal with 31 seconds to go in the half for Cincinnati.
All 3 timeouts left. No problem running the football. No hurry.
Burkhead to the right of McCarron. Inside give. He's short.
Good job by Van Noy coming off the edge that time, making sure he gets the tackle on Burkhead.
There's a little extracurricular too. Wright and Nevin Lawson, jaw to jaw, face mask to face mask.
Cincinnati, this is a 30-second timeout.
See Kyle Van Noy right here, lunging to get him around the ankles to prevent any push toward the goal line.
Good job to hem him in there. Gear up for the season with Lions jerseys, hats, fan apparel, tailgating supplies, and more at shopdetroitlions.com, featuring the best Lions online shopping and flat rate shipping.
Got some 1993 hats that all my son's buddies come in and take, and then they call it, it's retro, man. So I see him walking around with 1993 Lions hats.
How many 54 jerseys do you have at home?
I have 0.
Really?
I have 1.
How about 36?
I have 1. I don't know where they all are. I got to show kids VCR tapes that I really did play.
That's old school. Here comes the blitz. Burkhead trying to bounce it to the outside. He won't get there. Flag on the play, and they stopped him at the 4-yard line with 17 ticks left.
Penetration. And again, when you run a blitz, Matt, and it's a rundown, timing is everything. And this is a great job by Kyle Van Noy, hitting the line of scrimmage, full speed at the snap.
Holding. Offense. Number 44. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
I think he caused the holding. Now watch Van Noy. He's hitting the line of scrimmage at full speed.
You're right. There it is.
Well, good job, Kyle. Way to bounce back.
He's had 2 good games. Needs to keep impressing.
Second charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
So much expected of Kyle Van Noy when he was drafted out of BYU. He was a second-round draft pick. And a guy who knows that this is a huge year for him. He recognizes the big season that some of these other guys that were drafted his year. And Jim Caldwell likes his development. Coming up in the third quarter, we'll have General Manager Bob Quinn. He'll join our broadcast booth, talk about the building of this team. 46 players he has acquired, new players on this roster. So we'll get his mindset on that and how he looks at the first couple of preseason games and first couple of 3 weeks or so of training camp.
And also his philosophy on how to build a team.
Second and goal from the 12. McCarron, touchdown! Beautiful back shoulder throw, and Tyler Boyd has 6.
It's all about reading where the safety position is. Some people say, well, this throw is thrown behind. You see Tavon Wilson jump inside, so he's late over to the number 2 right receiver, which is Tyler Boyd. And all McCarron has to do is throw it away from the safety, and it's an easy catch for Tyler Boyd for 6. Too much room, and a free release allowed him off the line of scrimmage too easily, putting too much pressure on the safety. You have to be able to jam those inside receivers.
This extra point is good for Mike Nugent. Cincinnati has 3 touchdown drives in the opening half. They've scored more points in one half tonight than they did all of last week against Minnesota in a 1-point loss.
That guy's a starter. I really think, I live in Ohio, and some people were saying, is this guy, should he even challenge Andy Dalton for the starting job? And I say no, but if you watched him play in that playoff game last year, you know that this kid has got a bright future. And I'm telling you, whenever he's a free agent, he's going to be a guy that signs to another team as a starter. I think he's that good. Also
a tough kid and comes from a darn good pedigree. Won 2 national championships at Alabama.
A smart guy. He's right there, understanding the position and how the Lions can help themselves. Anytime you're in the red zone, you have inside receivers. You have to disrupt them at the line of scrimmage. If you give them a free release, running right to the safety, you have the safety has 2 guys on him, then he's caught in a bind. And so it's an easy read between the receiver and quarterback, and that's why the nice little back shoulder throw, as you pointed out, was perfect. It was too easy because Boyd had a free release into the end zone.
Is it about jamming those receivers?
Yes. Doing something.
T.J. Jones, 3 yards deep. Tripped up shy of the 20.
All right, take a look. We're going to have a nice little bunch route now. And they're going to have a free release up to the safety where he's caught in a bind between 2 guys. Because there's no jam or disruption of the inside receiver. See how they have that free release?
Yeah.
It's too easy. The safety gets caught inside a little bit too much because of the pressure of the number 3 receiver closest to the offensive tackle. The number 2 receiver, Boyd, runs scot-free to the open area, pitch and catch for 6.
A knee by Dan Orlovsky. 2 touchdown drives for the offense of Cincinnati. And then, of course, don't forget the pick 6 that the Bengals boasted at Dan Orlovsky's expense. So they lead it at the break 20-6. 4 drives for Andy Dalton and A.J. McCarron combined. 2 touchdowns, a couple of punts, and 173 yards. That big play in that opening half turned in by the Bengals defense. A pick 6, 60 yards and it's 20-6 at the break. Jennifer Hammond is with Lions head coach Jim Caldwell.
All right, thanks very much, Matt and Chris. Jim, your starters played into the second half, into second quarter tonight. What did you see from them, specifically Matthew Stafford and that offensive line?
We moved the ball decently, but we didn't finish a drive that we had a chance down in the red zone. A sack hurt us and knocked us out of, obviously, opportunity to score. We just weren't real sharp at closing things out. So there's a couple of things. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do.
Certainly a good challenge against this defense, but just 2.4 yards per carry. Were you looking for more, and how do you get that in the second half?
Well, I think, the game's not over yet, so but we'll see if we can straighten some things out. We just didn't create any cracks for the backs, and they didn't make any on their own, so we got to get a little work to do.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we're going to send it back upstairs to you.
Matt Prater had a 24 and a 30-yard field goal. Cincinnati scored on a touchdown run, a touchdown pass, and a pick six courtesy of Darren Smith. It's 26. Bengals in front on the Lions television network. Lions trail 20-6 at the break. Defense being challenged, and one of those defenders is with Jennifer Hammond. It's Haloti Ngata. Jen?
All right, thanks very much, Matt. Haloti, just talk to me a little bit about the first half. You guys played into the second quarter. What do you feel like you were able to do as a starting defensive front?
Well, first of all, we didn't get off the field in the that first drive. We really wanted to try to set the tone and get off the field, and it didn't happen. They scored a touchdown, but then we kind of got our bad set, and then we got off the field the next series. So next two series, so hopefully we can just start faster and get a better run fits when we're into blitz calls.
You're in your 11th season in the preseason in the NFL here. How do you make it fresh? How do you keep learning something each year?
Well, this is my second year in attack defense, with the 4-3. So I feel like I still got a lot to learn, and learning a lot from Chris. And it's definitely different, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and hopefully I can continue to learn and get better.
And with the way this defensive line plays and is constantly rotating guys in and out, it doesn't seem like there's any drop-off or there's really any second squad. How important is that?
It's huge. When we can have a lot of depth in this D-line, it definitely helps. And, that's what we're trying to find out this preseason, what guys are going to show up. And, right now it's a battle. So it's a lot of fun so far. And, hopefully we can find some guys that can get a good rotation.
Enjoy the second half watching.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. We're going to send it back up to you, Matt.
Jen, I think he's a different player. He moved his family to Michigan. He's healthy. Remember last year, strained his hammy and was kind of kept off the field, and his family was living in Maryland. So it was a little bit of an adjustment for him last year after the trade.
And he lost weight this year. He looks really good.
Yeah.
And to me, he looks really good. He's playing really well. One interesting note, we pointed it out in the first half that the run fits have not been solid. That's why you're able to see the Bengals gash the Lions defense for those long runs, 7-8 yard runs, because of the run fits. That needs to get squared away. It needs to get squared away this week in practice.
Short kickoff fielded at the 5 by Brandon Tate, slithering his way to the 20-yard line or so, and a flag on the play.
During the return, holding by the return team, number 51. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Cincinnati's ball, first down.
So Marvin Lewis, even though his team is up 14, not happy with another infraction. A.J. McCarron stays in at quarterback for his Bengals squad. After leading the team to a touchdown drive just before the break. I formation behind him. Cedric Pierman is the tailback. Nice. Really good fill. Really good job coming up and making the hit to Von Wilson.
That's what we talk about, being solid in your run fronts. You see number 32 is going to become the on-block player. That's because Chichi Araguza, number 58, does his job, understands where the on-block player is, and bounces it to the on-block player. Gap integrity, horrible the first half, good start to second half. Nice.
Ashawn Robinson is up front for Detroit at the defensive tackle position. Where's 91 in blue? McCarron, play action, quick throw on a slant for close to a first down. Well, he really has a good job turning his head quickly to find his receiver. That was Corey Core, 6th-round pick out of Mississippi. And they like him, don't they?
Yeah, Cody, nice little matchup with Laquan Treadwell down at Ole Miss right here. Beats Bodemacy off the inside and does a good job of protecting that football, understanding by coverage that he's going to take a shot from the safety.
It was enough for a first down. Toss sweep. And hurdling to about the 23-yard line or so is Pierman. Pierman more of a special teams guy, a special teams standout. Last year, 17 tackles, led the NFL.
It's a good job by number 32. Yeah. Number 30, excuse me, Darren Wall's coming up, forcing that inside. Chichi cleans him up. Good run support.
Second down play and 9. Lions back out of the blitz. And a loss on the play. Pierman had nowhere to go. A'Shawn Robinson swallowed him up.
This is why Bob Quinn, who hopefully will join us here in the third quarter, drafts A'Shawn Robinson, because of the big man gets penetration. Take a look at number 91. Right here in the middle of your screen, getting that penetration, then fighting off the hold to come back and make the tackle. But getting that penetration, forcing the cutback of the running back. Great job, A'Shawn.
Two-time All-American out of Alabama, including a freshman All-American. Forces a third down and 12. Burkhead is to the right of McCarron. He slips out of the backfield. McCarron steps up. He's got a lane to run. He will do so and dive to the 32-yard line. This will be an interesting spot.
Tavon Wilson does a nice job of closing. Great coverage downfield, Matt. Allowing Tavon Wilson to show his speed and come in. You see that little swipe for the football? Beautiful, knowing that the quarterback's not used to being a running back. Maybe not protecting the football. Attention to detail by Tavon Wilson.
Yard shy of the first down marker. Andre Roberts with his toes at the 20. Now a flag on the play. Too many men on the field, do you think?
12 players on defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
That's inexcusable right there.
I'll give him a slight pass because it's preseason and you're trying to get a lot of looks, but regular season, you know, that's awful. Can't do it. You got a team stopped, forcing the punt. You get a 3 and out to start the second half. And a mental error by the coaching staff. That's their responsibility. Cost them first down.
So a fresh set of downs for A.J. McCarron and the Bengals offense. They lead it 20-6. 2 offensive scores and a pick 6. Screen. Burkhead. Good grab. And a good gain, too.
We knew the screen was coming to Burkhead because he was so good at running it at Nebraska, and that will be a major part of their offense when he's in there.
When he was at Nebraska, he developed a friendship with a 10-year-old boy by the name of Jack Hoffman. He was a cancer patient, and he was invited to the White House. He had a chance to bring his family, and he included Rex Burkhead in that visit with President Obama. That meant an awful lot to Rex Burkhead, and he's continued the relationship with the family.
And Jack also got to score a touchdown in Nebraska's spring game, set up by former teammate of mine at Ohio State, Bo Pelini, who's now the head coach at Youngstown State. Go Quins. Shot out for the Penguins.
Penguins, right. We got a timeout on the field. 10:50 remaining here in the third. Bengals lead it on the road in Detroit, 20-6. Back at Ford Field, A'Shawn Robinson making his home debut, the second-round pick out of Alabama. Jennifer Hammond was talking with Haloti Ngata right out of the locker room, and what Ngata said about Robinson is quite a compliment. He said he's awesome, big, and strong, but pays attention to details. First day of training camp, he was after practice working on the jugs gun to work on his hand quickness. McCarron floats it out incomplete. Probably a smart throwaway there by the second-year pro out of Bama.
Well, you want to come into this league without an ego, and you want to learn. Because if you don't and you think you have all the answers, this league will humble you in a hurry. But A'Shawn's going to be a fine player for Detroit, will provide depth this year. Eventually he'll become a starter. And wearing a pretty good number of a former defensive line. Then for the Lions, Robert Porcher.
Yeah.
Great player for the Lions for a long time.
Robinson with good feet, too. He credits playing soccer as a kid growing up because of that. Skill set, 3rd down and 2 for Cincinnati.
I guess.
3 for 6 on 3rd downs. Back shoulder throw, and a flag on the play, and a catch made as well. That is a really difficult. No, they're going to call it incomplete. All right.
Badamusi looking for contact.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
Pretty good position right here by Johnson, but again, he had contact before the ball. They didn't get him for not looking back. See the contact right there before the ball arrived? That's an automatic flag every single time. There's a point of emphasis on that from the officials in the National Football League this year.
Lions too many penalties a year ago. Had 8 against Pittsburgh. Too many tonight for Jim Caldwell's liking. 1st and 10 to keep the drive alive. Burkhead sprints to the outside for a 1st down and more.
The problem is when you're playing man-to-man coverage and you get to that second level as a running back untouched, you're going to get extra yards because in man-to-man, the simple reason is all the defenders' backs are turned. Number 52 right there is late to the party. That's Antoine Williams. And he's able to get those extra yards because it was man-to-man, so the defensive backs are turned to the football, and it takes them a while to recover.
Burkhead can rush the football over 3,300 yards in his seasons in Lincoln. Another 1st down for Cincy. Pearman driven back, but did reach the 30. Pearman again. Got the edge. And driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Job by Isaiah Johnson fighting for a spot. Had a good game last week and good run support right there and an open field tackle. He does have a nose for a football. The 43, Isaiah Johnson.
Johnson part of the practice squad a year ago. Did play 6 games, 1 special team tackle. The 3rd down and 6. McCarron, pressure comes, unloads, and it's going to be incomplete. And then a late flag on the play.
Nice little up front by the Lions defensive line, executed perfectly, which allowed for the free runner to the quarterback.
Holding. Offense, number 73. That penalty is declined. Result of the play.
Number 99, Kyrie Thornton. Watch the stunt right here, Matt. It's just a little X game or me-you game. You see 2 guys coming in here. Now he's going to circle around all the way from the opposite side. And good closing speed, forcing McCarron to throw it away. Well-designed pass rush. 3 men working as one.
Thornton, a guy, they like his versatility. Can play inside. He feels like he can play a little bit on the outside. Mike Nugent lines up a 45-yarder. Missed it. And another flag.
There's no foul on the play for an illegal formation. The field goal is no good. Timeout.
Lions will take over. 1st and 10, trailing by 14 on the Lions television network.
You will notice a new light in the sky downtown in Detroit this season as Ford Field's rooftop exterior will be illuminated for the first time this season. A brilliant LED display will instantaneously change color. It's going to be anywhere from Honolulu blue, it'll turn pink. They've even shown red, white, and blue on there. Inside, Ford Field is also 15% brighter for people watching on TV. The flickering effect won't be, you won't be able to see that when they're showing replays in slow motion. All of these combined lighting improvements costing roughly $2 million, but it's definitely going to make the field brighter and the seats a little bit darker, almost kind of like you're watching a Broadway show. The field is the stage, and you are here to be entertained.
About half your salary, isn't it, Matt?
You can, yeah, you should talk. You can tell the brightness now. Stephen Ridley gets the carry, just shy of the 40-yard line. And the Lions, with Stephen Ridley, one of the key acquisitions for Bob Quinn, who spent 16 years winning championships in New England. It's a championship pedigree. The general manager joins us here on the Lions Television Network. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it very much. Welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
How have you found it so far? How have you found the reception in your first year?
The reception's been great. I mean, the fans here, they've been tremendous, whether it's, seeing people in my neighborhood or people at the airport. They're just, they're dying for a winner. And so we're trying to provide that for them. So it's been really great the first couple of months I've been here.
Dan Orlovsky starts this third quarter series, dumps it underneath. Curley with a nice grab and a flag on the play. What's your philosophy? You talked about in the draft, you believe you win football games up front, which personally I love. I know Chris loves it too. Is it deeper than that for you?
Sure. I mean, you have to improve every aspect of the team. So we obviously started this year looking at the offensive and defensive lines. We did that early in the draft. But, it's every roster spot. It's roster spot 1 through 53, and this time of the year, it's 1 through 90. So as we make transactions almost on a daily basis, trying to, churn the bottom of the roster to try to get the most competitive guys in here.
When you look at it, Bob, I think it's vital, and just having a family member in the business, how important is it for the head coach and GM to kind of be mind melded together, reading each other and understanding what each other wants?
It's very, very important. I think it's the most important relationship in a football organization. So, me and Jim, we spend hours upon hours together each day, talking about the team, talking about the players, and it's been great so far.
Well, that comes from how to build a team, but also, right, how to develop players. Can you explain to your philosophy about developing young players and maybe not giving up on a young player where some teams might give up too early on a young guy?
Yeah, it's a balancing act that you have to kind of really talk about this time of year, about what kind of guys get playing time in the preseason, during cut-down day, what guys are eligible for the practice squad, what guys aren't. So there's a lot that goes into it, and you're right, Chris. You don't want to give up on young players, even though they might not be ready for week 1. You might have envisioned those guys being ready week 8 or 9, which you might need them then.
You win 4 Super Bowls in New England. You win 6 conference titles. You win 13 division titles. You won 12 games or more 10 times with the Patriots, and a lot of people immediately link you to that type of lineage. I would guess that's quite a compliment for you. You want to celebrate that. Does it ever get old when people constantly refer now to this new Lions look to the Patriots' current look?
I'll say I was a very, very small part of all the championships and the winning we did in New England. We had great leadership, starting with the owner down to the head coach, and we had, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So I'm not going to take much credit for what we did in New England. I might be a very, very small part of it. So if I can take a few things that I learned there and apply them here, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
What was that biggest lesson in your mind?
Roster management, building the roster like Chris was talking about, giving young guys a chance, always trying to improve that roster, any time of the year. Whether it's in the middle of summer when, the staffs are on vacation, you might make a waiver claim when someone tries to cut somebody. So I think that's, one thing I learned from Coach Belichick was there's always a time and place to improve the roster, and it doesn't matter what time of year.
What do you tell fans with a guy like Taylor Decker, who clearly has talent and is going to take some lumps early in the preseason? What do you tell them to kind of calm their nerves a little bit?
Yeah, I thought, just watching the first quarter here, he played a little bit in the second quarter. It looks like he did a better job this game. So, we're asking for improvement for all our rookies and all our young players. But the one great thing, he goes against Ziggy every day in practice. Right. So, I mean, I don't know if you can quantify that, but I think that's going to help him out as we get to the regular season.
You know, I think the thing is, Bob, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody talks about being able to adjust to pass protection, which is vital. But we saw here in the first half that guys are pretty good at averting blocks on run blocking.
Yeah, I think it's I think, you know, Taylor, he was probably the most athletic guy in this conference out of the tackle, so he could go out there and dance with those speed rushes at the college level. The NFL, it's a whole different animal, so he's definitely working on his technique in both the run game and the pass game.
Most linemen drafted in this franchise's history since 1989. That you talked about with your philosophy. It's not just in the offensive side of the ball, but it's some of those big nasties up front like Ashawn Robinson, who's made his presence felt in the first couple of preseason weeks.
Sure, yeah, Ashawn did a nice job in preseason week 1, and he's getting a little bit of playing time here in the second half. So, you know, Ashawn's an interesting story because, you know, he comes from Nick Saban defense, and that's a two-gap style defense. And we're playing one gap, get up the field with, you know, Coach Kasurik and TA. You know, teaching those how to play a little bit different style, but he's really picking it up pretty well.
Bob, is it tough to be patient? That's a hard thing in sports today. I don't care what sport you're coaching, general managing, playing it. It can be difficult, especially when a thirsty fan base like here in Detroit.
I need to strive for patience because, you know, I want to build this thing the right way, not just build, you know, for the short term. You know, I'm in this for the long haul, so I want to make sure this team gets built the right way so we can have continued success over the years.
Chris and I were asked a lot in Pittsburgh. We've been asked already today numerous times. If you had to describe this team's strength, what would it be? How would you answer that question?
Our strength right now would probably be our overall depth of the team. I think that's one thing that we strive for in free agency and the draft. So I think, you know, our skill positions, I think the wide receivers with our top 3 are really strong. You know, once we get some of our tight ends back, I think that's a pretty strong position. And I think the depth of our defensive line right now is one of the biggest things that have really not opened our eyes because I think we knew we had it. But to see these guys go out and perform during the preseason, our practices versus Pittsburgh in the first couple of weeks.
Pretty good starting quarterback, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that starts, you know, it all starts with the quarterback, and, you know, Matthew's been a great job here in the preseason. So
we will ask Bob Quinn a little bit more about Matthew Stafford and how anxious he is to get what we consider one of the best linebackers in football back soon. Stay with us. We'll be right back. 25,000 yards faster than any quarterback in history. His Lions trail 20-6. We welcome back in Lions general manager Bob Quinn. It was really important for you maybe come to a place that has that franchise quarterback, but more importantly, to reinforce to people that he is the guy. What do you see in him that makes him the franchise guy?
Yeah, I mean, Matthew, obviously, everyone knows his physical skill set. He's got one of the best arms in the NFL. And over the course of the second half of last season, he really showed that decision-making under Jim Bob Cooter's new offense. So we hope to see that continue, you know, during the start of the regular season for us.
Cincinnati from deep in their own territory as the Lions defense pins their ears back with about 5 minutes to go here in the third. McCarron with a quick throw out in the flat. Alex Carter stays after it and pushes him out of bounds right near the 10-yard line.
How important, I think it's vital, to be honest, just my opinion, that DeAndre Levy's back. He's a playmaker, and I think he solidifies a young linebacker unit.
Sure. Yeah, you know, DeAndre started practicing this week. He practiced Tuesday, ran around a little bit yesterday in our walkthrough. So we're hoping to get him a little bit more practice time next week and get him ready, geared up for the regular season.
You've got some guys who, you know, you haven't seen yet in the preseason, Eric Ebron, Amir Abdullah. But do you get this sense, like many of us, that some of those key positions, core positions, left tackle, rushing defensive end, outside linebacker, key cornerback who you locked up with Darius Slay, are in place here to build around?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things when, you know, I interviewed for this job back in January, that you look at the roster and you look at a quarterback, a pass rusher, a corner, you're like, okay, well, that to go along with great ownership, I mean, that gives you half a chance to, you know, make a good team here. So that was one thing that was really, you know, intriguing to me, that there were some key pieces in place.
You've been bunkered down so heavily into football since you arrived here on January 8th. Have you had a chance to do anything else besides football?
There was a couple weeks in the summer when it was a little bit quiet that we got away, but other than that, it's been, you know, football 24/7.
That's kind of how you like it. Detroit bats one down right there at the line of scrimmage. Some of those big bodies up front, and we got a late flag on the play as well. Gabe Wright, the second-year pro out of Auburn.
Again, talking about depth on a guy from the inside. You can never have enough defensive tackles. I'm curious about...
Roughing the passer, defense, number 61.
That's the second time this half where the Lions defense has a chance to get off the field. Let me take a look right here. First of all, it's a nice little stun up front. And you just have to have, you know, you just have to have the discipline. It's more discipline more than anything else not to take a shot, even if you body bump them like that. The quarterbacks are even trained. If they get a bump,
they
flop.
Yep.
They look like the Brazilian soccer team, which Neymar flops every time he gets his foot on the ball.
Right. No, there's no question. You know, we got to pull off on that and run by him.
It was fun visiting with you and a lot of your staff in Latrobe as you got ready for the first preseason game against the Steelers. Why do you think that was important to practice against another team? They hadn't done that since 2001 against Carolina.
I think it's a great way, first off, to evaluate your own team, because, you know, these guys are hitting each other for about the first 10 days of camp. And Chris, as you know, it gets kind of monotonous and it gets kind of, all right, I kind of know what he does. So really the competition level kind of evens off that time of camp. So it's really good to change it up a little bit, go practice against another team. You know, Pittsburgh's a 3-4 defense. We're going to see a 3-4 defense the first couple weeks of the season. You know, Coach Caldwell has a good relationship with Coach Tomlin. So all those things put together in a great setup in Latrobe, you know, made it really worthwhile for us.
Yeah, I thought the two programs worked really well together, too. Usually when you get that together, Chris talked about it during the broadcast, you'll see some fisticuffs, some nastiness. You didn't get that. It was a lot, very respectful.
Yeah, Coach Caldwell and Coach Tomlin sat down with our leadership groups on both teams before the first practice, and they kind of just had a little sit down and talk about how things were going to go. And I think the leadership group on both teams did a great job, and we had really nothing to speak of in terms of fisticuffs.
Yeah,
really
it accomplishes nothing. I mean, a fight doesn't do anything. They're like, oh, he's tough, he's going to fight. I got news for you. If you're an NFL football player, you're probably going to fight anybody at any time anyway, so we don't need to see you fight.
Right.
1st and 10 for A.J. McCarron and the Bengals, leading 20-6.
Good penetration.
Good gap, though. Sprinting to the outside. And that's Bronson Hill, the kid out of Grand Rapids, and played his college ball at Eastern Michigan.
Got to have a good penetration by the one technique, but the linebacker didn't fill his gap. So what the problem is, you'll have two guys in one gap, and we talked about it all night. Kasim Green right here getting a little wide.
Replay first down.
And Gabe Wright is late to the party.
General Manager, Vice President Bob Quinn joining us here on the Lions Television Network. Marvin Jones was one of your top targets. He was your top target in the offseason. He is not disappointed. He might be one of those guys that, because we don't see him quite often in the NFC to the AFC, and because A.J. Green was their one, he might be one of those guys, Bob, that is better than a lot of people ever understood. Is that a fair assessment?
I sure hope so. You know, we did a lot of work on Marvin. He was a guy that even back in my old job, you know, in the middle of last season, I had my eye on as a possible guy that we would target there. And, you know, with the retirement of Calvin Johnson, he was our #1 target, and we were very fortunate to be able to get him.
I think the thing, I'm curious to what you like about him. One thing that I like is that when he runs route, he's effortless. Plus, he uses his size very well. So he's not one of those guys that seems like he's working to get open, which makes him extra hard to cover because he's so smooth.
Yeah, one of the things that we really, you know, looked at hard was what kind of routes can he run, and we sat down with, you know, my staff in the personnel department and the coaches, and he can really run any route on the tree, which really gives us a lot of flexibility what kind of routes we can route when we have 3 wide receivers or 2 wide receivers out there.
You know what he did well last week in the first play of the game? He missed a block. Then he came back, and I know, I'm sure you noticed it, but he came back and made a good block the next play. So that shows me he takes pride in what he's doing.
He knew he missed that block, and that's something that, you know, our receivers coach gets on those guys about. So he did come back and make a nice block.
And what are your thoughts on the division overall? Minnesota is much stronger, and they're the division champs. Green Bay is always going to be there because of Aaron Rodgers, and it seems like John Fox usually makes that jump in his second year.
I mean, the division's going to be very tough. There's no question about it. I think, you know, the easiest way to the playoffs is winning your division. So, I mean, that's our first goal, is to win the division, and you know, we're going to go out there and battle those teams week in and week out, and hopefully, you know, win 6 or 7 games in our division.
You'd like to see guys like Amir Abdullah and Eric Ebron get in some preseason games, or do you think it's necessary?
It could be necessary as long as we're healthy on week 1. That's our goal. Like, if we can get the guy out there in week 3 for a little bit and get him a little action, we'll be able to do that. But we're not going to push anybody just to see somebody in the preseason. Our goal is week 1.
Your time is valuable. We appreciate it.
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Congratulations so far.
Appreciate
Good luck.
Thanks, Bob.
Guys.
Bob Quinn stopping by here on the Lions Television Network. We head to the 4th. Cincinnati leads at 20-6. Stay with us from Ford Field.
Thanks, guys.
As we head down the stretch, there's still time to become a Detroit Lions season ticket member. For member benefits and details, visit DetroitLions.com. Alongside Chris Spielman and Jennifer Hammond, I'm Matt Shepard. Glad you're with us on this Thursday night. Andre Roberts drifting to his left. And pushed out of bounds right around the 15. We'll be back with the Lions' first drive of the 4th. Jake Rudock takes over his club in a 14-point hold. Levy played just 17 snaps a year ago. They have missed him, but he returned to practice this week. And Chris Spielman, just a couple of years ago, 151 tackles. He can do it all.
Now, he has great instincts. He's a playmaker. He can rush the passer, defend the pass. He's a big playmaker for this defense, and I think he's vital for the Lions defense to be consistent and get to where they need to be. He's got to be on the field. I would say this. I agree that it's most important to have him on the field in game 1. But also, I think he needs to play a little bit.
How much?
I would say at least two to 3 quarters. I'd like to see him play 2 quarters next week just to get that feel, because you can never simulate game speed in practice. And I'm going to tell you, I hate saying this, but back when I played, but in 1992 I had a back injury, missed every preseason game to go to Chicago, the opening game of the year. I was awful. I was hoping I wasn't getting cut after that game. But then I got back into the speed and worked out a little better as Orson Charles catches a shot from Jake Rudock.
The bullet from Rudock. Good protection up front. So that really helped you once you finally got your feet underneath you a little bit, and that should help.
I wish I would have played the last preseason game at least 2 quarters. It'd be interesting to hear his take.
Yep.
And I know Coach Caldwell said, yeah, nobody can block him. He's moving around. But from my perspective, if DeAndre would ask me, I'd say, hey, try to play at least 2 quarters next week and maybe a quarter in the last preseason game.
He said he expects to be ready to roll as Jay Lee hauls in at the 41-yard line. Another strike from Jake Rudock, but Levy says he hopes to be ready to roll in week 1 against Indianapolis. He's one of those guys, never comes off the field. Best blitzer on this team, best tackler on this team, and best cover linebacker on this team.
Yeah,
that's how vital he is.
Yeah, he does it all. And
he sure does.
I like what the Lions are doing here with Jake Rudock to get him into a little bit of rhythm. They're going up-tempo.
Ridley. Nothing. George Wynn, actually, former UAD Cub, with his first carry of the night. Jake Rudock, 8 for 11, 72 yards and a touchdown against Pittsburgh, and he also ran the ball pretty well. 17-yard long on the run, and a few carries, 4 carries against the Steelers last week.
See how he handles the blitz right here. They got man-to-man down here. It could be an area that he'll target.
Needs 5 yards to keep the drive alive. Down the middle, intercepted. And into Lions territory. Floyd Raven.
All right, we got a couple things going on here. First of all, down here at the bottom, he's going to quit on his route. It's a 2-man route. They're going to drop off and play 1 deep, and he's just playing center field, reading the eyes of Jake Rudock, and Jake doesn't see him. But watch Jay Lee at the bottom right here. He quits on his route, so he has nothing. There's nothing open, and Jake Rudock just tries to force that throw in there, and it's just an easy center field pickoff for Floyd Raven.
26-yard return. Keith Wenning takes over the signal calling duties for Cincinnati. The 3rd-string quarterback in his first year out of Ball State. slings it out to the near side. Detroit covers it well. Winning, a 6th-round pick originally for Baltimore a year ago. Played on the practice squad in Baltimore and here in Cincinnati. But when he left the Cardinal football program as a second-team All-MAC selection, he left it as a record setter in touchdowns, yards, completions, and attempts.
He got second team to who? You're a Maction guy?
It's a good question.
Okay. I'm sure our truck will be all over that in a minute.
Throws on a curl route, and it's caught by Core. You got me thinking a little bit now.
2 years ago?
I was thinking Jordan Lynch for a minute, Northern Illinois, but that's probably too far back.
No, I think you're, yeah.
Jordan Lynch, really good player out of Northern Illinois. Good dual threat quarterback.
Drafted by the Bears, I believe.
Yeah, sure was, yeah. It's a 3rd down and 6 situation for winning.
Lions been successful running those 4-man stunts up front to get pressure on the quarterback.
6'3", 2¼ Big kid. And it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Ashawn. Here's the deal, Matt. This is good recognition by Ashawn Robinson, understanding he's not getting into the quarterback, but what he's going to do is get the hand in the air to bat it down. A great play by Ashawn Robinson, understanding he stalemated at the line of scrimmage, but not quitting on the play, getting a big left paw in the air to knock it away.
What did we talk about earlier? He stayed after practice and OTAs, works with a jugs gun. Well, he said hand quickness, hand coordination, really important to have violent hands. They learned that a lot at Alabama. Mike Nugent nails this one. Cincinnati stymied by Detroit's defense, but they'll use the Nugent boot to go up 23-6 on the Lions television network. 23-6, Bengals in front. This scoring drive is brought to you by Wayne County Community College. Marvin Lewis's club had to settle for a Mike Nugent 50-yard field goal. They possessed the ball just $1.50. But they lead it by 17 on the road in search of their first preseason win. Nugent, the former Buckeye last year, missed 5 field goal attempts, 23 of 28. And missed 1 extra point as well, but his 626 career points, 4th most in Bengals history. Dwayne Washington back deep for the Lions. We all know what he did last week against Pittsburgh on the 96-yard kickoff return for 6. Can he do it again? It'll have to be a little bit longer, but he'll bring it out. Flag on the play as he gets to the 23.
During the return, holding by the return team, number 89. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Detroit's ball, 1st down.
Long way to go for Jake Rudock and the Lions, both on the scoreboard and the football field. Bengals lead at 23-6. The offensive player of the game is brought to you by Pearl Vision. Matt Stafford needed good vision, and so did Marvin Jones.
Well, again, this is good to see early in the preseason. Matt Stafford delivering a strike to Marvin Jones, who shows the body control to go up and get this ball at its highest point and keep 2 feet inbounds. That's a good sign for the future of the Lions offense.
Is that throw over that shoulder on purpose, or did he misfire and Jones make a great adjustment?
No, that throw was where it was supposed to be, because Matthew Stafford saw the safety coming, so Jones knows that the ball is going to be to his outside, away from the safety coverage.
Wayne Washington grinding hard close to the 15-yard line. So our crack staff has your answer. When I mentioned Keith Winning,
yes,
he's 2nd-team All-MAC. Jordan Lynch was 1st-team All-MAC in 2013. So I was right to a certain extent. Then Blake Fronapple of UMass the following season.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Cincinnati also has on their roster another MAC quarterback, and Joe Licata from Buffalo.
Sure, right.
MAC always puts out good quarterbacks.
Ben Roethlisberger, we saw last week, didn't play, but we saw him as Orson Charles pulls in a pass at the 11-yard line.
Remember Nate Davis, too, from Ball State.
Oh, yeah,
and
he was really good.
From the San Francisco 49ers draft choice, I believe.
Third down and 4. Rudock and the Lions offense. They need a first down here with under 10 minutes to go in this one. Quinshot Davis is split to his right. Big target, big body. Looks underneath, throws incomplete, tipped. Jace Billingsley, the intended receiver.
Jake's getting a little confused right now because of the Bengals defense showing blitz, and they're running a zone blitz. So you have the inside defenders dropping off into the hot routes, which are being run right over the middle, and Jake's throwing right into them. See 45 drop right out of there showing that blitz? He almost got that interception.
So what's the read there, Chris? How do you pick that up quicker?
The read has to be to the outside, not to the inside, because where's the zone defender dropping is inside. So you have to throw to the outside and throw hot on a slant.
Problems. Oh, and what a tackle made by the punter. The Lions are able to get Devin Bell with a punt, but also with a tackle on the same play. Cincinnati knocking on the door again. Short punt and the decent punt return. 9.5 remaining in the fourth. Bronson Hill stops, starts again, and dragged down just inside the 30-yard line.
A former Eagle from Eastern Michigan, fighting for a roster spot. 5'10", 220 is powerful, huh, Matt?
Yeah, he is. And he can do a lot of things. Now, does he have NFL-like speed? No. Has to make this team as a special teamer. He's been on a couple of practice squads. Works hard, though. Good kid. Great high school career. He'll get another shot here. Slips inside. Got the first down for the Bengals. Bronson Hill of many Cincinnati Bengals with Michigan roots. Take a look.
DeMonte Pecco, really been an excellent pro for a lot of years, holding that inside down. Darquez Denard, who I'm anxious to see him play, has been fighting that injury bug, but
his entire career,
yeah,
really.
Really good corner when he can get on the field.
Jake Fisher started tonight from Traverse City. Penetration on first down by Detroit's big nasty front. Carson this time the ball carrier.
It's time for guys this is your time. If you don't get to play a lot, step up and make a play. And I'm not just talking about an average play, a tackle for 2 or 3 yards. Create a turnover. Do something special.
Something that stands out.
Exactly.
Second and long. Winning all kinds of time. Carson close to the 15-yard line. Reynolds in on the tackle.
Right there we have that little stun again. Zettel coming inside. Reynolds, nice job of an open field tackle, wrapping up, getting a man to the ground as opposed to just coming in and trying to shoulder tackle him.
Rashad Reynolds in his second year out of Oregon State. Third down and 4. They'll run for it. Get it.
Kind of Cincinnati, in my opinion, and I think it can be confirmed if you go back and watch the film. Their offensive line, no matter what team, first team, second team, third team, it doesn't matter, pretty much has handled the front seven and won the physical battle tonight.
Yeah, they're winning. Bouncing to the outside. And then tripped up at the 7-yard line. Good open field tackle as Carson made a bid for the corner of the end zone. Instead, he was tripped up there by Darian Barnes.
Again, see, if you're a Lions fan, nobody's getting off blocks. Everybody's stuck on blocks. So, and you give up that short corner, you're allowing positive yards. It's not only hold your gap or hold your responsibility, but you must disengage with the offensive blocker and not give 1-for-1 and get off and make a play.
Darius Barnes, a rookie out of Louisiana Tech. Under 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Carson again. Made a man miss. Got inside the 5-yard line. That's a really nifty run right there. You can talk about some bad defense, bad tackling for sure, but Carson's ability to jitterbug his way inside and get close to the first down was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the rookie from Texas A&M right here makes Barnes miss, who's in position. That time everybody was in position, but the most important thing for an NFL running back in order to be successful, in order for an offense to have a successful rushing game, is that running back making the on-block player miss, just like he did right there on Barnes.
3rd and 3. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Winning on a slant, caught, and shy of the goal line, but should be enough for a first down.
Alonzo Russell out of Toledo making a nice play.
Yeah, he put up big numbers down there at the glass hole.
He's good. Again, just reaching back for the football, understanding you're going to take a shot.
It's a good grab, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think he's throwing that way, throwing behind him naturally to protect his wide receivers. He sneaks it in for score 6.
Talk about hurry-up offenses. Keith Winning caught the Lions napping a little bit. They weren't set up.
And they're standing straight up on the snap of the ball. That close to the goal line, that defensive line has to get down there and beat root hogs, the ankle biters, and let the linebackers clean up over the top. I would think that Jim and his staff would go back and look at this film, and I think you challenge your guys, especially your defense. It's not good enough. It's not even close to where we need to be.
Even though it's a preseason game,
it doesn't matter.
Right?
They got manhandled up front.
And like you said, on every unit, not just the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Got to win battles in the trenches to win. That one snuck inside. Keith Winning with a 1-yard punch in to give Cincy a 30-6 lead in Detroit. I guess Marvin Lewis is pretty happy right now. Scoring drive here in the fourth quarter is brought to you by the Office of Highway Safety Planning. Keith Winning. Now it started with field position. Chris Spielman, short pump, good return, sets up a 31-yard field. Teams are supposed to score touchdowns from 31 yards away.
And they've been able to do it and move the ball on the ground. And, you know, the old adage, you go into a production meeting with coaches, we got to be able to run and stop the run.
Right.
You know, that makes me want to take a pencil and drive it through my temple. But it's true. And the Lions haven't been able to do that tonight.
It is a cliche, but it is so true. Jace Billingsley, 4 yards deep. Trying to create a spark. Tough to do that. Dropped at the 21-yard line. We got 4.5 left to go in the preseason home opener for the Lions, but they're on the downside of this lopsided score. Number of big plays made by Cincinnati in this game. The defensive play of the game brought to you by the Lee Steinberg Law Firm. You should have called Lee 1-800-LEE-FREE. It was by Deron Smith in the second quarter.
It's a great job of snagging the ball with 2 hands on the late throw by Orlovsky. Making a great catch and putting points on the board for his team.
60 yards to pay dirt, and Cincinnati has really never looked back. Rudock with George Wynn to his left. He'll throw underneath. Billingsley's got it. Pushed out of bounds shy of the 45. Pushed down for Jace Billingsley.
He's done a nice job. 2 games that he's played.
He's got some shake, doesn't he?
Yeah, he finds a way to get open. I don't know if there's enough room for him on this roster. Possible practice squad guy because he does have return ability.
Sure.
But he does make plays.
Rudock, good protection. Deep ball for Davis and incomplete. Let's bring in Jennifer Hammond. Jen?
You know, Matt, you saw Rudock go deep there, and earlier this week, a lot of the reporters were asking Jim Caldwell whether or not he had the latitude to make some of those deep throws. Caldwell said on every single play, we've got deep, intermediate, and short routes. It's just his choice to make the smart decision, and we're seeing that he's feeling maybe a little comfortable in letting it air out. Didn't connect on that one.
Well, he did say he felt, after the game against Pittsburgh, Jen, he did say, look, I felt good. I felt comfortable, understanding all along that he has a lot of room to grow, but to feel comfortable and good, considering it was your debut?
Well, he did a nice job, and not surprising. I mean, he's a guy that the best attribute, besides removing all his physical skill, the best attribute is that he stays even. The highs don't get high, and the lows don't get too low. It allows him to make good decisions most of the time.
Pressure comes, he'll run for it, and he'll get the first down. Actually, I might have spoken too soon. They might have marked him just a little bit shy. Let's see where they mark it.
That might have been a short spot.
Yeah.
But that right there is a perfect example of making a good decision, taking a throwing lane, turning it into a running lane.
They'll go for it on 4th down. And they'll get it. George Wynn galloping his way inside the 40.
Good patience and vision by George Wynn, understanding that the defensive line had a pinch on.
Offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
Maybe that's why you got the first down.
There you go. Right here at the top, bottom of your screen.
Please set the game clock to 3 minutes and 9
grab
seconds.
the jersey.
Please.
Didn't need to grab the jersey. You don't need it. All you have to do is keep those hands inside and trust your training. Good hand placement.
Luke Marquardt, huge, just a massive human being at 6'8", 317 pounds. So 4th and 10. Rudock rolls, scans, waits, now throws, caught by Davis for a first down at the 44-yard line. Tough to cover that long.
No, absolutely, and two good things right here. First of all, if you notice Jake Rudock, he will actually take his eyes away from downfield, check the sideline out to make sure that he doesn't scramble out of bounds. Sets his feet and throws a nice ball to Davis, who works back to the quarterback when he's in trouble. Well done by the two young players.
Davis, big numbers at North Carolina. Rudock on a slant route and a nice grab by Jay Lee, Davis's roommate. And inside the 35 to the 34.
Coach Caldwell told us, Matt, that these two young receivers, Lee and Davis, were going to get a lot of looks. Both these guys, with their size, have the ability to make this football team, and they'll have to be able to make this football team too on special teams, not just returning, but blocking and tackling.
Washington first down as he lunges inside the 30 with under 2.5 left.
So that's a guy that's going to be on his team. Washington's got to be on his team.
Why is that?
Because he's got a lot of juice. He can return. He's a strong inside runner. He has the speed to beat you outside.
He's versatile.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to make this football team in either practice squad or regular roster. It's my prediction.
Rudock's going to tuck it and run again. Angling for out of bounds and tiptoes at the 27. Some people would call this right now to garbage time. It's not for players who are looking to put up film and guys who are trying to get better, learn things as they go, right?
Well, you know, Bob Quinn was up here talking, and you know the amount of time that those guys spend building the bottom of the roster. Well, where do you build the bottom of the roster? From guys that you see on film right here in these games.
Charles with a difficult catch. Makes it at the 21-yard line, shy of the first down. 1:56 left. Just under the 2-minute warning. Lions trying to drive down 30-6 here on the Lions Television Network. Marvin Jones in a group text with a lot of his good friends of the Cincinnati Bengals, and today he is our player of the game, brought to you by Big Boy.
Yeah, does a good job here. We showed this earlier of adjusting to the ball in the air, field awareness of keeping both feet in bounds. And getting on the same page as Matthew Stafford, that will be vital as we progress toward the start of the regular season against the Colts.
4 rocks, 65 yards for Jones. Billingsley stiff arms his way to the 11-yard line. Marvin Jones, one of those guys, Billingsley says, always there to help the young wide receivers. Jones, Bolden, Tate. That's the one thing these young receivers can really learn from. Their wisdom, their experience.
Well, they have to, because they have to work as a unit within a unit.
Washington past the 10 to the 9-yard line.
You want an argument for Matt Prater for player of the game.
He kicked a couple of field goals. He's the reason they're on the board.
You got it, man.
Billingsley's in the slot to the right. Davis split wide on the same side of the field. Lee is by himself on the left side in man-to-man. Rudock underneath, intended, and well, there's the flag. He's looking for Feeney, backup tight end.
Darian Harris, excuse me, from Michigan State.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 45. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Game summary brought to you by Arby's. Cincinnati with 3 offensive touchdown drives and a pick 6. Matt Stafford, decent night throwing the football, wanted to get his team into the end zone, but did not. Tahir Whitehead has led this team in tackles. Washington touchdown.
That's the guy. I think he's going to win that battle at that running back spot. It might be way too early, but he's got a little bit something. And we saw the great speed last week on a return kickoff. Watch this little stick the foot in the ground, and he smells that end zone, and bam. Will not be denied, taking 2 Bengals, knocking them down on his way to 6 points. Right there's this nice little cut. Stick that foot in the ground and accelerate.
Saw the hole
and accelerate through that hole.
You talked last week about some guys missing the hole. Dwayne Washington saw it quickly and reacted quickly.
And his biggest thing that I see is his acceleration and how quick he gets going.
We'll go for 2 here. Trips to the right now. Davis goes in motion. It'll be Washington. And he's got it.
Making a guy miss, Matt. Same thing. Making a guy miss in the backfield.
Washington had a special teams touchdown from 96 yards out last week. Here he carries it in as a member of the offense to make it 30-14. 14, Cincinnati has been in front all night long, but the Lions finally get on the board in terms of a touchdown. There's still time to become a Detroit Lions season ticket member. For member benefits and details, visit DetroitLions.com. 12 plays, almost 80 yards in just under 4 minutes for the Lions. Dwayne Washington, who had 17 career touchdowns at the University of Washington, has 2 in as many preseason games as a pro.
You know, out of the young rookies, I think to me he's the one that has stood out the most.
Of all the rookies?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. Tell me another one. And it's early, the first 2 preseason, and I'm only not off practice, not off film. Okay. I'm just talking from the fan at home watching this game. You tell me a player that's shown a little more potential, more ability than Dwayne Washington has.
I don't disagree with that. How do you take into account the level of competition he is playing? Like Taylor Decker, Joe Dahl, for example, pretty difficult. Yeah. They're going up against stiffer challenges. I'm not taking anything away from Dwayne Washington. Right. I'm just asking how you factor that in.
That's a valid point, a very valid point. But I'm saying for his position, and he can only control what he can control.
Agreed.
Now, we could argue then, well, what would Dwayne Washington do behind a first-team offensive line? What would Dwayne Washington do with Matthew Stafford as a quarterback, where you have to account for that guy throwing darts all over the field?
It would have to be the Washington or Ashawn Robinson in the first 2 weeks. So I would agree with you. Bronson Hill spinning around. 45 seconds left. Well, like we said last week, plenty on which to build from the game in Pittsburgh. Same thing here. More on which you have to build. And this is what coaches sometimes like. Let's get in your face and let's show you what you did wrong. Let's challenge them this week.
Point of emphasis to me is both fronts.
Yeah.
both fronts. I mean, and we had Bob Quinn up here and spent a lot of the third quarter with us. Wants to be strong on the offensive line, wants to be strong on the defensive line, and quite frankly, that wasn't those two units' best performance tonight. They need to be better, and they'll work for it.
Chris, you also have to protect the football. 2 picks tonight, one by Orlovsky, and it went the other way for 6, and then one by Jake Rudock. That can't happen either. Next week, Detroit is in Baltimore to take on their 3rd straight AFC North team. And of course, we'll have it for you at 7 o'clock. And then they'll close it out here at Ford Field against Rex Ryan and the Buffalo Bills. We'll wrap it up from downtown Detroit when we come back. 30-14 the final. Bengals and Lions now 1-1 each in the preseason.